What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the FPL video. My name is Mo, and today I'll be going through the player watch list for Game Week 13, which is only a couple of days away. So which players are we looking at the moment? Which players are we targeting? Which players are we looking to get rid of? We'll go through all of that today, and I'll go through some players that you should be keeping in mind, A, based on their form, and B, based on the fixtures that will be coming up in the next couple of game weeks. So before we get into all the players and their stats, all I'd like you guys to do is hit that like button if you like the content, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and join the FPL INKLING family. So let's go through some fixtures to begin with. So on screen here, as you guys can see, I will go through the so-called easier fixtures so far that we have for the clubs over the next 5 game weeks. So these are the easiest fixtures, starting from top to bottom. So Leicester, according to the difficulty predictor from the FPL website, have the easier fixtures over the next 5 game weeks. So they start from Watford, Southampton, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and then Tottenham. And as you can see, you've got Spurs in there, Liverpool, Brentford, and Brighton. So these are the kind of teams that we should primarily be targeting to get some players from, or as many players as possible, into our squads to make sure we can take advantage of A, their fixtures, and B, if they are in some kind of form or you think they're about to peak and get into some form as well. So you can see Spurs on the list there. So a lot of people already from the previous game week have also targeted Reguilon, Harry Kane, Son as well, which didn't come off in the last game week because they didn't contribute in terms of any points for FPL from assists or goals for Kane and Son. However, they do have a good fixture lineup over the next 4 to 5 game weeks, as you can see. Liverpool, so there are questions at the moment. Should we look at Mane? Should we look to get him in? Is he too expensive at 12 mil? A lot of questions are being asked around that at the moment, but people are actually preferring to go for Jota, who does have an injury scare at the moment, to kind of triple up with Trent, Salah, and having that third player from Liverpool in the squad. Brentford, again, they come in at number 4. They have been a bit unlucky in terms of, Mbembo constantly hitting the bar or the post, not getting the returns that I think he is, due and he should have got. But that's part of the game itself. But Everton, not in great form. Spurs, still kind of bouncing off the new manager. Leeds, Watford, and then Manchester United, who, will they find some form by then? We're not too sure. So again, Ivan Toney and Mbembo, Rico Henry, there are some really good players that you can target from Brentford themselves. And then in comes Brighton as well. So Sanchez should come back in goal. Leeds, West Ham, Southampton, Tottenham, Wolves. Again, not a bad run. Overperformed, overachieved so far for me. Graham Potter, fantastic job. So personally, some players from there, you can look at Duffy for some clean sheets. Could be some good value in there. Maybe Mopai as well up front. Trossard, Lallana. There are some players that you can really look into looking at them themselves. Now let me move you guys on to the teams that, according to the FPL predictor, have the hardest fixtures. So these are the bottom 5, I would say, or the top 5, which have the most difficult fixtures. So starting with Aston Villa, they've got a game at Crystal Palace. So Steven Gerrard is coming into a fairly difficult patch here. Manchester City then at home, Leicester City, who are looking to get kind of a reaction now after a dip in form. Liverpool at Anfield will be a big game for Gerrard, back there as a manager. And then they have Norwich. So not an easy period. So if you do have, Martinez in goal, potentially, you're looking to get Ollie Watkins or Danny Ings, maybe it might be worth waiting a couple of game weeks to get them in. That might be something that you can definitely consider doing. And you got Everton, Brentford away. Again, they haven't been in great form themselves, Everton, so Brentford's going to be a difficult game. Even though it's green on there, Brentford at home have challenged Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. They've played really well against the big teams as well, so it's not going to be an easy outing. And then obviously their biggest game of the season, the Merseyside derby at home. Benitez in charge, the pressure's going to be unreal. Followed by Arsenal, Crystal Palace, at Selhurst Park, again a difficult game, and then Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So if you do have players from Everton at the moment, I advise it might be a good chance to move away because it does not look good at the moment. Then you've got Leeds as well, who've got some good games all the way up to game week 16. So Brighton, Crystal Palace, and Brentford. So if you watch my team selection video, that's where I'm looking to keep Rafinha till, because from game week 16 you can see the twist in the fixtures. Chelsea away and Man City away, they're very difficult fixtures. So that's when I'll make my call on Rafinha. Southampton, so we know we've got Livramento. For me, he's like a bench enabler, but there are many squads out there who have him as like the first choice defender out of 3 defenders or 4 or even 5 in some teams. But Liverpool away this game week, Leicester at home, Brighton at home, who are again in a very good form. Arsenal away, yes, they lost 4-0, but they have done really well over the last couple of game weeks. And then Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, so it's not going to be an easy ride for them. So if you've got like Adam Armstrong, potentially be a good, could get a few goals in there. But defensively, Livramento might be a good shout for him to have a few bench appearances to avoid any of these difficult fixtures. And then West Ham, I own Antonio, but those fixtures don't look that great, to be fair. Man City away, Brighton at home, it's going to be a tough game. They have done well. They've overachieved. They're in the top 4. Chelsea at home is going to be a really tough game as well. Burnley away, no one likes going to Turf Moor. They are very difficult to play at home, Burnley are. And then Arsenal at the Emirates. So again, we're looking at the fixtures based on their difficulty. I fully appreciate West Ham have played well, but this is going to be their real challenge. If they get through this period, boy, they will have a very good chance to finish it, I would say, in the top 6 this season. Now, let's move forward to the players that we'll be discussing or who I'm watching for Game Week 13. So, let's start with Reuben Diaz. So, Diaz, to be fair, was benched after the international break. A lot of managers, over 100,000 managers have actually sold him this game week. Apologies for that. Still recovering from the tonsillitis. So, for me, have I lost faith in him? No, not at all. There will be rotation, and this is why I've ensured that my bench has 3 players to come on, just in case there is going to be rotation, which there will be over the next 5 to 6 weeks, because there's 10 game weeks in the next, I think, 40 days, and that's a lot. So there will be rotation from clubs like Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Manchester United. All clubs will do it. Teams like Watford, maybe Leeds might not have as much rotation, but there will be rotation. So we just got to make sure that we have the strong benches to cover that. Now the fixtures are there for Man City. For me personally, they've got red. They're at home against West Ham, which I think they'll be quite comfortable personally. And they got Villa, Watford, Wolves, Leeds. So I think personally I could see 5 clean sheets there, and if he does start 4 of the 5, that'll be beneficial for me because I have tripled up on Man City in terms of goalkeeper plus 2 defenders. Now let's go through some background stats or underlying stats for Diaz. So XG 0.02, expected assist is 0.1. Again, as a defender, they're not that high, but I think he's really crucial in the sense of the fact that he adds solidity and he's a captain and a leader from the back. In terms of points, 49 points so far this season, 4.5 points per match. And at the moment, at the time of recording, he's owned by 24.3% of managers. He was around 28% a couple of game weeks ago, but I'm going to persist with him because I think overall, by the end of the season, he will reward me for the faith I have in him. So that's Reuben Diaz. So if you're looking to, play a wild card, or you're looking at some defenders, guys, don't overlook him. I think he still has a lot to give to your team. Now moving on to Antonio. Antonio. What can I say? He's been absolutely frustrating to own in the last 3 game weeks for myself because none of my strikers have scored. And I was hoping for some returns during those games, especially against Wolves. I thought they would get a return for me. But looking at his fixtures, City at the Etihad, Brighton at home, again, will be a tough game. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They're at home, not at Stamford Bridge. They're at home at the London Stadium. And then Burnley away, again, a tough game. Then Arsenal away as well. So there's some real tough fixtures. Antonio is due a goal, due some points based on, just general stats because he's been so quiet. But he still has a high ownership. Around 46% of managers still own him at the time of this recording. So I think it's 46.9% that still own him. So for me, I'm still going to keep him. Would I look to move him away in a couple of game weeks? Again, if he's not performing and not hitting the expectations, then I could lose, patience with him. But for now, I think I'll give him, at least another 2 game weeks to see how he can, find some form or some points for me in my team. But overall, West Ham have done well as a team. The players like Gerard Bowen, you've got Ben Rama, Cresswell. These guys have done really well. But Antonio, has gone a bit quiet after the fantastic start, player of the month for the first month. Then he got sent off against Manchester United, Southampton, and he was suspended for the Manchester United game. But But we are waiting now to see when he can go back to his amazing goal-scoring form. So still going to persist with him. If you are looking to take him out and you've got some replacements in line and you've got a thought process, fully understandable. But for me, I think we should give him a couple more game weeks and really see what he can deliver. Next we've got is Bernardo Silva. Now, I've already tripled up on City, so I can't really bring in any more Manchester City players, but we've gone through the fixtures already. But what has this guy achieved so far? He's only, I think, just been benched one game. For City, that's quite incredible, considering how much talent they've had. Yes, I know Bernardo Silva's got a chance more for, like, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden not being in. So he's played a lot of minutes alongside Jack Grealish, and going through his stats, there's a lot of ownership now coming for him. So he's owned by around nearly 9% of managers, 57 points so far this season. High scoring midfielder for Manchester City. His points per match is 5.2 points, and his XG is 0.21, and XA is 0.14. So he is showing a lot of potential, scoring regularly, setting up goals as well. And again, the fixtures we've gone through already, I think they are some really good fixtures. There might be a risk of rotation around game week 14, 15, 16. He might only play 2 of the 3 due to the kind of close proximity of these games between 13 to 16. But I think generally, if you are looking for someone from Man City, at the moment, I personally would say Bernardo Silva, based on form and number of minutes that he's getting, will be the best shout for you to look at. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne at the moment, due to COVID, is out. He might be out for another, 2 game weeks, so 13, 14. And then maybe 15, 16, he'll come back in to the squad. However, but I think Bernardo Silva overall adds a lot of quality to Man City. And if you are looking to have him into your squad, then it's always good to have someone on the bench, like, like a Brownhill or an Allen, around the 4.5, 4.6 mil mark, who will play week in, week out, just in case he is rotated during the busy period. But overall, star player. Personally, am I looking at him? I would be if I didn't have the 3 City players already. But if I do move away from any of those players, which I don't intend to at the moment, then definitely Bernardo Silva from Man City will be someone I will be looking at to bring into my squad. And last but not least is Jamie Vardy. So, Jamie Vardy's had a lot of transfers out. When Lukaku got injured, he was owned by over 32% of managers, but now his ownership is under 26%. I think it's about 25.9% at the time of the recording of this video. But let's look at his fixtures. Now, I know his form's not been that great. 4 games, without a return. As there are moments in the season where Jamie Vardy does go quiet. But let's look at the games. Look at the greenery. There's hardly any reds. Watford at home did well against Manchester United. Southampton away. Aston Villa away. Newcastle at home, and Tottenham at home. So, if Vardy's going to hit some form, for me, sorry about that. Personally, I think he will be back now in some kind of form soon. I'm going to back him. I'm not going to go on to Kane because I haven't seen much from Kane to warrant the extra 2 mil of my budget. I think overall, for the rest, for a longer period, I do want to keep Vardy in my squad. I mean, people talk about the hype about the fixtures of Spurs, but look at those fixtures. They're not too bad in terms of FPL for Vardy to hit some form and get some big returns. So I am keeping a close eye on who gets more points over this period of 4 games. So both players got 2 points each, I believe. Yeah, 2 points each last game week, Kane and Vardy. It'd be worth seeing how they do in the next couple of game weeks. Some background stats around him. 62 points so far. 5.2 points per match, 0.45 in terms of expected goals, and expected assists is 0.09. So for me, I'm sticking with Jamie Vardy. I will back him for the next couple of game weeks. So those are the players I thought I'd go through in terms of the watch list for you guys. If you haven't got these players in, potentially you can look to be bringing them in. And if you do have them in, maybe think, I'd say once more before taking them out, because some of these fixtures, will be rewarding for them. If they do find their form. So it's better to be patient because we've gone through the difficult patch. There is time for them to hit form. So overall, that is what the player watch list looks like for Game Week 13. And I'll bring back my squad on screen as well. So it's not too long away now. Only a few days left for the deadline. So please submit your teams in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Are these the players you're looking at? Let me know. If there are any players that I haven't discussed and you're interested in, drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Join the FPL INKLING League. The code is below my camera screen. If you haven't liked the video, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, you guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and join the FPL INKLING family. I want you guys to take care, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you soon with some more content.